think we all agree mentorship is important, but first things first, what is mentorship? Sometimes it's a little bit ill-defined. How is a mentor different from a supervisor? And what are the different forms that mentorship might actually take in real life? We'll address these three questions in this upcoming video. Let's start off with the first question. What is mentorship? It's talked about a lot, but what does it really mean? So the word mentor has its origins from Greek mythology. Mentor was a good friend of Odysseus, so when Odysseus left for the Trojan War, he put Mentor in charge of his son Telemachus. When Odysseus did not return from the war, the goddess Athena took the appearance of Mentor to urge Telemachus to stand up to the suitors and take a journey to find out what happened to his father. Due to the crucial guidance and encouragement that Athena in the form of mentor gave Telemachus in the midst of crises, the term mentor in English is synonymous with a trusted person who lends an ear and shares wise advice with someone less experienced. In short, a mentorship can be seen as an intentional series of interactions between two or more people whose primary purpose is the growth and development of the mentee, though the relationship is often beneficial to the mentor as well. Good mentorship catalyzes the mentee's ability to define and mold their future and develop a strong network. There are at least three areas that a mentor might be found to play a role in. First is psychosocial support. A mentor can be a role model, discuss work-life balance issues with the mentee, and personal issues, especially dealing with transitions between stages of training or career. And of course, your mentor is there to celebrate your successes together with you. The second thing is professional development. A mentor helps one mold a career development plan. They help provide networking opportunities and can advise on how to best navigate an academic or institutional environment, and they advocate for advancement opportunities. And third, mentors have a role in research development. They provide an extra perspective on your research training plan. Importantly, they can help to identify gaps in your knowledge and ways to fill those gaps. And they can give you tips on how to work in a research team and provide advice on your scholarship or grant applications. Now, the next question is one that many people will ask. How is a mentor distinct from a supervisor, and why should I look for mentorship if I already have a research supervisor? Well, there are at least two major differences between the two, which provide some rationale for us to seek mentorship in addition to the research supervisors we already have. In the biomedical sciences, there's almost always an inherent conflict of interest between your work and your supervisor's publication record or advancement. Thus, it's helpful to have a mentor, an external, relatively unbiased individual who's not grading you or on your committee, to provide an extra perspective and act as a sounding board for your concerns. Moreover, a good mentor won't take credit from their mentees but will celebrate their mentees' successes. Another difference is that the primary focus of a supervisor may be on the work within your research program, whereas a mentor is more primarily focused on your growth and development. Therefore, there might be some needs outside of the strict realm of research that we might feel a bit awkward bringing before a supervisor, but which a mentor may be able to help address. For example, a mentor can lend an ear to and address future plans, doubts, or fears that you might not want known by your supervisor or lab mates. Issues relating to work and family balance, when to have children, when to publish and move on, etc. Now, mentorship can exist in many different forms, and here are just a couple of them. There can be formal mentorship programs set up by departments or institutions where a matching process forms dyads between an experienced and a less experienced individual. And of course, there are informal mentorships that form when two individuals may just be drawn together by mutual interest and it just works. It might happen while you're taking part in clinical rounds and ask a particularly astute question, or at a conference when you just hit it off with a faculty member or peer. Mentorship can also occur in a group setting between peers. For example, a more advanced trainee might speak on the transition that they had just gone through, for example, moving from clinical work to research or vice versa. And nowadays, mentorship can not only occur in person, but often through the internet and video calls. Now, it's important to realize that it's also very likely that we'll have multiple mentorship relationships that will complement each other. For example, one relationship might focus more on research development, whereas another might focus more on clinical development. So ultimately, mentorship can take many different forms, but the starting point to forming any such relationships is always to be open to the opportunities and to know ourselves, which is what the next video in the series will talk about. It'll help us to think about the questions we need to ask ourselves, to realize, 1, what are we really looking for in a mentor? 2, what are the responsibilities that we have as a mentee? And 3, what are realistic expectations that we might have for a mentor?